to first identify how it starts and how we fall into the trap. I think it often starts off in, maybe you're like 10, 12 years old, and maybe your parents get you a computer. Well, I'm showing my age now. They get you an iPad. In this day and age, you'll have an iPad. My nephew has an iPad. So they get you an iPad, and maybe on an iPad you discover iMovie, and you start filming everything. You know, your mum's in the kitchen, and you film your little sister, your little brother, and then eventually you get that movie, you edit it together. You know, it's a really cheesy movie, mum in the kitchen versus brother in the backyard, whatever you want to call it. But then your parents see it, and they're like, wow, this is a masterpiece, you know. You're talented, you're gonna be the next Steven Spielberg. So as a result of that, because, I mean, acceptance and validation is one of the most important things we want as a young child. And as a result of that, when you get that validation, your mind is automatically in tune that I'm gonna be a director, or I'm gonna be the next Steven Spielberg. So then eventually your parents start investing in you, you know, you go to a few courses, you grow up, you go to a college, and you think, oh, that's what I wanted to do. I major in editing or directing, you know. You realize directing's a bit ambitious, so you think I'm gonna be an editor, then gradually you think I'm gonna be an intern. You know, you get less ambitious as you go along, as you actually have to study it properly, you know, rather than just making your little mum versus brother in the backyard film. So then you graduate, and then you feel, oh yes, you know, unless I'm working, my goal is to work with James Cameron on the next Avatar movie. If I don't do that, I'm a failure. And that's the box we fall into. But this time, a lot of the time, when we grow, we've seen so many different things that our passions have shifted. And also, what if there was a fundamental mistake that your parents made at that point? What if you never wanted to be an editor? What if what you enjoyed was putting the story together? What if you wanted to be an author? But we're so caught up in this understanding that once a path is set on us and it's linear, we have to follow it and we have to fit into that traditional structure. But there's a great saying which I often apply to my life. It says that you may not get to climb mountains, but you may get to move them instead. Dreams change. You know, it doesn't make it any less valuable, or it doesn't make it any less relative. It's just that the capacity in which you start to operate decides to change. And